All right. Now, for the big show, as Larry would say, we have some great content for you tonight. And I'm going to go ahead and kick it right into this. Some video interactions, just things that just really catch your attention. So, of course, it's all about preparing for November with this whole ISO 222 compliant type news and whatnot, and understanding a lot about what that really is. What you're about to see here is a very familiar gentleman from the likes of Shark Tank and what he happens to have to say in regards to all of this. It's about 2.5 minutes roughly, and of course we'll come back for some brief commentary, but we have some nice flow in regards to all these tabs and so on that you're about to see. So I'm actually going to do a stop share on this, that way you can hear it properly, and do a different type of share, and we'll get right into it. So here we go, and there it is. All right, so blow up the volume for you. There he is.
I look at crypto not as coins or tokens. I look at it all as software. It's productivity software. The projects that are going to last and be here, a decade away from now, are ones that actually solve problems. So let's give an example. I'm an investor in Polygon. I'm a very fortunate guy. I'm able to call up the leaders of these projects and these teams, and they return my call, and I ask to meet them anywhere in the world. In this case, we met in Dubai with the Polygon team. I'm an investor in software engineers. I always have been. I've been in the software industry for 20 years. They're very, very strong. And their mandate, what they decided to do, is to try and reduce the cost by sitting on top of Ethereum and aggregating transactions. So the gas fees are a fraction of what they would be if you're doing them one at a time. I thought that was a brilliant strategy, and I made an investment in Polygon. The same with Solana, the same with Ethereum, the same with HBAR. All of these are software, and they all have different attributes. If you're investing in, for example, in Google or in Microsoft, what are you investing in? You're investing in software. Why wouldn't you invest in crypto? It's software too. And in the case of crypto, just take, for example, Circle and USDC. USDC takes a lot of pressure and reduces fees in all kinds of different ways. And in the case of staking, gives you some kind of yield against inflation. So all of this to me is just software engineering, and I have a broad portfolio. I'm very familiar with the engineers involved in each of these projects. I support them. I'm an advocate for it. And the regulator is, in my view, going to eventually support these initiatives because of the tremendous economic enhancement and productivity they provide for the underlying economy. And as far as the US regulator is concerned, they have the opportunity to lead the globe in policy, whether it be stablecoin, whether it be Bitcoin, whatever it's going to be. And I don't think they want to give up that opportunity. They just want to get it right. And those of us that are waiting for their decisions are very optimistic, because you can look at this two ways. You can say, okay, the regulators are getting in the way of growth. That's one way to look at it. I don't look at it that way. I look at it saying, when the US regulator makes its policy, the floodgates of institutional and sovereign wealth are going to pour into these crypto assets. And I want to be well positioned before that happens.
That's a good point that he makes. Yeah,
it's a great point he makes. And you could see, I don't know, when I was watching this earlier, I was just like, this is powerful stuff. Especially when he mentions the whole thing about these institutional money and the floodgates of that. We're not talking about millions and billions of dollars. I mean, the concept of trillions of dollars and across, like it mentions, cross-border payments. That's a common theme when it comes to these ISOs. So it's just like, it's more than just a thumbnail that you click on. We're literally talking about how do you prepare yourself for when the switch gets turned on. I know it seems like it's kind of overused at this point, but it's just absolutely so true.
Yeah, so I'm thinking I 100% agree with what he said, and I like the fact that he framed it as it's an investment in technology. We're talking about Mr. Wonderful here,
right? For Shark Tank.
Yeah. Shark Tank, yeah. It's interesting that he mentioned Polygon, HBAR, a couple others. Of course, he mentioned Ethereum, Solana. The one thing that I would add on top of that, including, not limited to the institutions. I mean, I get what you're saying. With the technology comes all the institutions, because they're going to need it to transact. But don't forget, The one thing that I've been saying all along about regulation, and he didn't say it, but I'm sure he would agree with me, and that is it's also going to bring in what I call the old money, the money that is too scared to be in crypto because there's no regulation, the money that's already in stocks, bonds, mutual funds, retirement, 401k plans, those type of things, the tax sheltered annuities, 403bs, like teachers and stuff like that. All that money is not going to just leave the stock market, but some of the money that's in the stock market will migrate over into crypto because people will look at it and say, all right, well, this is safe now or safer because it's being regulated. So I agree with what he's saying. Institutions, and also I would add to that, traditional equity markets will lose some of their investment to crypto. But yeah, I mean, it's to me, it's the wild wild west now. Still, I compare it to the .com boom that we're in right now, and it hasn't even completely boomed yet. So once these guys, and once crypto gets more out in the news, as they will when they start to do more regulation talk, I think people are going to be like, "Oh wow, look at Polygon. What's this technology about? This is like this is a lot better than investing in pets.com, like we talked about the other day. It could be like you said, like Mr. Wonderful just said, Google. It's like, what are you investing in with Google? It's software. So it's a good point. I'm glad that you shared that, Max. I've actually looked at a few of Mr. Wonderful's a few months ago videos where he talks about crypto. I think he has his own YouTube channel even. But yeah, it's good that he's on our side with crypto because I think a lot of people respect his opinions.
Yeah, and even if a person was against them, I mean, it's just a message that's being brought here, and it's just actually a well put together video.
Hmm.
Before we kick it into the next one, since we don't really have a lot of people here right